Is it somebody right on my core? This is the moment you're meant to know.
Like time through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives.
Well, hello there, sunflowers, and how are you guys today? Well, I'm here to do an updated reading on Jelly Roll and Bunnie XO because they have officially finalized their divorce after 2 months. Has it been that long since I read on them? Or was I just late to the game about finding out about their divorce? Anyway, where am I going to sit this? Do you want to hear that crack, sizzle, and pop? Okay. Not trying to product place here. I'm sure their candle looks very familiar. However, Bunnie is out here reposting on her social media, and that's exactly why I'm here to do an updated reading, because Jelly Roll has expressed how he wants this divorce to end fairly. Bunnie basically talked about, I think, how he's generous, so she wanted to make sure that she got or like worked everything out or not trying to take advantage of. I'm not quite sure. However, I'm quite curious because what is sorry, there's dust in the air. Also, my apology, guys, if you see some shadows. We are currently missing an overhead light, but we'll get that fixed. Anyway, all that being said, now that we're done with maintenance, hi, how are you guys? Bunnie and Jelly Roll are out here still making their divorce a little bit questionable. So before I jump into what Bunnie XO has to say, let me just read to you what I had found out about Jelly Roll. Because he just recently did a autobiographical music video where and it was filmed in the San Quentin Rehabilitation Center in San Francisco. And he was performing alongside incarcerated musicians who he said were not paid actors. Okay. What else? He said that truly one of the most special things I have ever had the opportunity to do. The moment my life truly changed is when I threw my hands up, because that's the name of the music video. I know a lot of folks will hear this and remember their hands up moment as well. That's where him and Bunnie are. They are both at their hands up. You know, you get it. You know, when you're done, just flag it. That's where they are basically. And he's written a song about it. We'll also just talk about everything else that was going on in his life, but like maybe the Bunnie XO was the pivotal turning point of him just saying, you know what, life, right? So, and he was talking about here a little bit more. Just I remember being in the same kind of places all these incarcerated guys are in. To get to do this with them is beyond words for me. And then it says the music video arrives amid Jelly Roll's divorce and podcast hosts. From podcast hosts. I'm sorry. I'm so used to reading on my phone. The singer filed for the divorce in May after 10 years of divorce. So we got that going on. But I'm here to play a few clips because everybody wants to talk about this one particular clip that Bunnie had posted. Not reposted about 10 hours ago, 12 hours ago, at least is the recording of this video, because TikTok does tell you how long ago a thing was reposted. So because of that, this is hot off the press, what's going on in Bunnie's life. And you guys tell me, is this words of affirmation or is this, I'm putting a curse on you. Like, I don't know what she's doing here with this video, but hey, listen for yourself, guys.
Falls in between your middle console and your seat. Yeah, I hope that your nap be just short enough to make you have a headache, but not short enough to go back to sleep, bitch. And I hope that your maintenance man is low-key a creep, but you just can't prove it. And I hope that your friend volunteers to be a designated driver, but ends up drinking, so now you have to do it. Ooh, and it's your birthday. Yeah, and I hope that every avocado you buy skips ripen and goes straight to brown. And I hope that your favorite club gets shut down. And I hope that your package needs a signature the one day you decide to leave town, you goblin. And I hope that the only character carrying the plot of your new favorite show gets popped. And I hope you can't find your favorite noodle making pot fatty. And
Listen, she just goes on and on and on about all the misfortunes that she wishes whoever wants to repost that video feels towards whoever felt like they have done them wrong. So because of that, that's what Bunnie had to repost, and everybody's just like, oh my God, this is how Bunnie's feeling about her divorce. But I was looking through her repost sections because, they say that reposts are public. So I was looking at what videos she happened to be reposting. And honestly, guys, I'll just read a couple to you because they're all extremely telling. So the first one says, hold on, let me see. She won't chase you, but guess who will? I don't know. That was a day ago. Then another one says, if someone asks me about my past, I will always say it was necessary to become the woman I am today. But if you catch me in a vulnerable moment, I tell you that my heart didn't deserve even half of what I had to go through. Another one. The only way to impress me is being a solid person. I don't care what you drive, have, or own. I only value trust, respect, and loyalty. I only take people seriously when I see nobody has has access to them like I do. So she's like, if other people have access to you like I do, I'm not really going to vibe with you. I'm really not going to connect with you because you're not mine, kind of thing, Another thing she reposted is, actually, I think this was a clip from Euphoria. But this is what it posted. And it says, when he's finally telling me everything I want to hear, but it's 3 years late and it's 3 a.m. and I'm not the girl I was then. Like Jelly Roll said, hands up. That's where they are. I can keep going. I can keep reading more posts. Another one, she says, I'm such a it always works out for me kind of girl, because it literally does. You can literally see this on her pages. I'm not making up these comments. Found myself smiling more lately. God, whatever you're doing, I appreciate you. Oh, and this one sent me. You can show me the most damaged parts of you, and I will show you how it shines like gold. So she's like, you know what, Jelly Roll? You ain't appreciate me. You wasn't all into this. That's what it's sounding like to me. And she has found her reconfidence, has found her value, her self-worth again, it sounds like. And she's just like, you know what? I don't need this Jelly Roll mess. But wasn't it Jelly Roll that divorced you, though? But okay. Right. Maybe she wasn't. Listen, I'm still a bit confused. But, she's posting up in the house or a house that during this divorce settlement, it's finally settled after 2 months, May, June, July. So because of that, I'm glad they have finally gotten that over with. I'm not sure how they're going to be feeling moving forward past this moment, because it's starting to sound a little bit more bittersweet than amicable. Oh yes, we're doing this because it was mutual. So I'm just here to double check. Who do I really, I really want, I don't know. It's so hard to pick because, okay, I know what I'm going to do here. I know exactly how I'm going to fix this. All right, hold up, guys. I'm going to get the main female and the main male, and I'm going to do a co-reading on them, our main man. So I'm just like, instead of doing 2 separate readings on them, or just doing a reading on their ex relationship, let's just see how they're both doing. All right, so I each have a representative card for each of them. So we're going to put Bunnie here, and we're going to put Jelly Roll. We'll put Jelly Roll here, and we'll put Bunnie here, because Jelly Roll was the one that filed. So let's just see. And he's the one that's being a little bit more reserved with how he's feeling, and Bunnie seems to be the one that's super expressive. So because of that, it's always more I don't want to say profitable, but more interesting to look at the one that seems to be more reserved in the situation than the one that's always the loudest. So for that being said, I shuffled up the cards. I'll shuffle them up again, and I'm just going to pick one card for each of them, of course, and see how each of them are feeling post-divorce now. This is going to be a reading on how do they feel about each other respectively instead of the overall energy. So this is how Jelly Roll is feeling post-divorce. We have the Four of Swords. Okay, interesting. How is Bunnie XO feeling post-divorce? Eight of Swords. Okay, at least they're both in the Swords family. But that's quite interesting. Okay, let's just now pick the cards to see how Jelly Roll is feeling towards Bunnie at this moment. The Hangman, the Emperor, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Seven of Cups. Okay. So that's scoochy scooch. And then how does Bunnie feel for Jelly Roll post-divorce? We have the Sun. Wow, we got a lot of major arcana cards with them. Quite interesting. The Six of Cups, the King of Wands, and the Star card. Wow. Interesting. Extremely interesting. Really, I'm seeing with her, I'm seeing a lot more blue. And then with him, I see very much like, it's not like white, but it's like, you know, when you look at clouds and it's cloudy, hazy, foggy, cloudy, you know, if you like think about clouded vision, it just kind of looks like there's like a film or like haze over where it's just like not quite in focus. That's what I'm getting with his cards, because a lot of that's because we see a lot of cards in the air, but it's just, I don't see anything that it's anyway. So because of that, that's the overall, just looking at their cards generally, I see that he seems to be a little bit more confused when it comes to Bunnie. And then with Bunnie here, we see that she is a bit blue, surprisingly, but let's figure this out. So the first card for Jelly Roll is the Four of Swords. So he is currently feeling post-divorce. He's sabbatical, taking a break. You know, I know he still has a tour going on, but it's like the severance between him and Bunnie. He just needs time to take and process that. And he's doing whatever ways to do that, whether that's making a biopic film about music video and doing healing things to regain and find puzzles, not find puzzles, but find pieces of himself and piece himself back together, rebuild himself up, things like that. But all those different things, now that he is away from Bunnie, he has a more lens that will be able to focus on himself and less on the relationship. And maybe that's what could have been the problem, is that he had too much going on, and maybe Bunnie felt as though he just wasn't as invested, even though he was. But it's like, you know, that kind of thing when you're like too stressed out, it's hard to focus or keep love going. It's like that joke when they say lock in so hard you become asexual. So that kind of thing where it's just like there's just so much going on with him mentally that it was just hard to focus on Bunnie and her needs. So now that they have severed their ways, it's now I can focus on myself, not in a non-selfish way, of course, which is why we have the Hangman here at the foundation. A sense of a separation, a sense of being able to really take the time to reflect just on his life the last 10 years, even more, because who was he before he met Bunnie XO? So it's like karmic cycles and all those different things, because there's a lot of things going on in the stars astrologically too, that just has to deal with 2026 being the year of like pivotal change for everybody as a collective. So it's like the decisions that we truly make are going to impact our futures moving forward. So like they say, be like the person that your future self will be proud of, basically. And that's how Jelly Roll is maneuvering with this Hangman energy and Four of Swords energy. And honestly, that's still number 4, the Emperor as a man, as a masculine, as a divine masculine. He has all that masculine energy. So because of that, yes, he and this emperor is specifically looking at a family. Now, I'm not sure if him or I don't think they have any children, but if they don't, the sense of looking at what could have been, what he wanted, and now it's time to rebuild. Because 10 years is a long time to invest and then have a divorce. So because of that, it's like the life that I was building towards as the emperor, my kingdom, my legacy, is no longer what it used to be or what it was. So now I'm going to have to take a rebuild. So that's why the emperor went on a Four of Swords, went on a mental sabbatical, mental break to figure out how to regroup and regather his life, as we see here with the Ace of Pentacles. New beginning, new foundation, new reality. Everything is a new chapter, but also it can be hard and rough, because new beginnings are always struggleful. But also, if you think about it with the Ace of Pentacles, just think about the force that's needed for plants to be able to bust through the hard earth. Even if it's soft, moldable soil, just think about it. The soil, it's a dog-eat-dog world in that soil, just like it is here in the human world. Roots got to fight for nutrients and stuff like that. So because of that, trying to plant and grow things, Ace of Pentacles, it's still talking about that foundation, trying to rebuild a foundation all over again, which is here with that Hangman is all about, along with the Emperor. Everything with Jelly Roll is focusing on what's to do for my future. Basically, he's very future oriented now that him and Bunnie, now that he has let go of Bunnie, he can refocus and regather himself, basically. And now I'm going to see, because I don't want to say it almost feels like Bunnie was like burdening him down, because that's the kind of vibes that I'm getting. But I'll do some more digging and searching on that. But just switching over and looking at how Bunnie is feeling post-divorce. Like I said, you saw the quotes that I was reading. However, she too is in that mental trip, but instead of taking a sabbatical, she feels it's the Eight of Swords, feels like a sense of entrapment. Now it's how she chooses to perceive the situation and how she chooses to express it and feel it. Like they say, each spirit, you get to choose how you get to experience a situation, and she's choosing to experience this divorce, this I have been there for you, I have done this, that, and the third, and you're just going to divorce me when I've done all this, and I've been this, and I've been there, and I was with you when you was Jelly Roll, and now you no longer Jelly Roll, and now the no longer Jelly Roll wants to jelly out and roll out. She's like, no, we're not. She's just like, you're not going to disrespect me, use me, and take advantage of my love like that. That's how she's feeling all in the situation. Even though he's doing everything fairly, trying to do everything that she wants, she gets everything allegedly. So because of that, she seems to be benefiting way more in this situation than she is choosing to look at it in this, because her feelings are hurt. The Six of Cups right here symbolizes the emotions, the looking back, the sentimentalness, what has been and what could have been, because she was still willing to put some years down. She was just like, once you got me, you got me. And she was like, so it was like, it was like Bunnie was never going to leave. So it almost ultimately would have to be Jelly to leave Bunnie, because Bunnie was not going to leave. At least that's the way the cards are giving it to me. But we see here at her foundation, she's still trying to have a sunny disposition despite how she's feeling in the situation, because she's feeling quite the King of Wands energy, which is interesting because the Emperor is a fire card, the ultimate fire, because the Emperor owns an empire. So the Emperor is over the King, which would be the King of Wands, another fire card. So because of that, we still see that reminiscence. She's still attached to Jelly Roll. Like, she has not let this divorce relationship go still after 2 months. So because of that, she's still stuck. Eight of Swords energy. So because she's still stuck in what it used to be, the Emperor, which you used to be an emperor, now you're a king, but I was still willing to be there for you. I still have these feelings, And, moving forward, the star card, having hope against hope, that I don't know what she's hoping for, like that he's going to come to his senses, or that they're going to get back together, or that he'll like treat her the same, or maybe that's what she could be hoping, that like once we get this divorce, that I hope that we can still have a amicable relationship. But all that being said, I know I spent a lot on Jelly Roll, but I also spent a significant amount of time just talking about what Bunnie has been posting. So I feel like I gave them both equal amounts, because clearly what she's posting and like what the cards are representing seems to show and reflect that when it comes to this divorce, she seems to be, I don't want to say taking it hard, but is feeling emotional about it, but she's trying to pick herself back up. So one question I would just like to know, since we're here, I want to know, I'm just going to have to ask if both of them loved each other. Because, so how do I phrase this? Because does is in a past tense, like they no longer love each other, but do would symbolize they still currently love each other despite everything that's going on. So do I want to know if he loved her in the... Okay, we'll stay with today. Does Jelly Roll still have feelings and love Bunnie? That's a good way to phrase it. We have a dice, which seems to be taking a chance or a risk. It seems like a up in the air. We also have another star card, which is seeking navigation, trying to figure it out his own self. Maybe this is what he needed, a separation, so that way he could breathe and focus on himself. And it was hard to do it with Bunnie around, like she was crowding his space or something like that. So hopefully with this breather, but maybe he has really taken some time to really do some inner searching to see. And maybe like the dice and the star says, maybe this was a chance that he had taken in the past, and now it's coming like full circle. The cycle has finally closed its chapter, and he's finally seeing the outcomes of the chances that he took in the past. But one more card. We have a messenger. So nothing here that I see symbolizes a love for Bunnie at this very moment. We see some navigation, which symbolizes where it can, like I said, with him again, back to that same theme, figuring out where Bunnie can fit into his life moving forward. That he's definitely trying to figure out, and he knows that this divorce was taking a chance, but he's hoping that the message in due time, it will be able to, because, sometimes you got to have that trust in somebody that even though they might be unreceptive? Sure. Even though they might not be as receptive to the outcome, you hope that in due time and processing that they are able to come around to your decision and see it from your point of view and perspective. So because of that, let's just see for Bunnie, how does she still have love for Jelly Roll? That's the really important question. We see how Jelly Rolls feels. It's kind of arm's distance, arm's length, kind of not dealing with. But let's just see how Bunnie is feeling. Does she still have love towards Jelly Roll? We see an occupation. Okay, that could be, okay. We have a fox. Oh, that's cute. I really do like that. Yes, the lovers do come out there. And yes, she really do still have feelings for him. Like, no cap, guys. She really does have feelings for Jelly Roll still. Like I said, she wasn't the one that divorced him, and like you saw by her post, she was willing to stick it out to the very end, and he was not. So because of that, what do we see here? An occupation. Usually, yes, that could symbolize what do you do? She's a podcaster, so maybe she could be using podcasting and things in her daily life to preoccupy herself, because his occupation also symbolizes things that you use to distract yourself from dealing or coping. And like they say, when you're heartbroken and you're processing a breakup, the best thing to do is to keep yourself busy, busy, busy. And that's what she seems to be doing. However, we do have a fox here, which makes, you know what, honestly, I really like this because just thinking about how her posts are, this fox, especially paired with the love, and the fox is in, like if we took the fox out this picture and we had lovers and preoccupied, we could see that this would be a perfect picture of somebody who is just trying to work through love and to, you know, like ended amicably. Everything was Gucci. It was all good. You know, peace, love, hurrah. We want to move forward, but you know, I'm still hurting. My heart's still bleeding. I'm just going to work through it so that way I don't have to feel that. That's what this would mean. But once you slip the fox right in the middle of that, it becomes a whole different story. It becomes now I'm going to be a little bit more deceptive. Now I'm going to be a little bit more destructive. Now I'm going to be a bit more, passive aggressive towards this because of how I'm feeling. So because of that, that's the sense of energy that I have. It's like, yes, I love you, but I kind of hate that I love you, and I kind of hate what you did to me because I love you. So like all those different things that she's feeling, she's got a whole lot that she's still got to work out through this very moment with Jelly Roll. However, it seems like with them respectively, Jelly Roll is focused on himself, and he hopes in due time that Bunnie will be able to come to terms with his decision and maybe understand why, especially if they had talks about how they want to end this amicably, everything be fair, we will work this out, we have good communication and receptiveness. So because of that, you know, you want to please people, but you don't want to please them too much, kind of thing. So it's all those different things. You know, maybe when Bunnie's in her feelings, she might try to like ask for more just because she feels as though this is going to help compensate for how I'm feeling, kind of thing. So now she's being a little bit unfair or a little bit selfish in that situation. However, that's just what I seem to be picking up from the cards, but I definitely do see that she still has love for him, and she's still hung up on Jelly Roll, and it seems like Jelly Roll is not completely left and exited the building, but he's still in the process of walking out, and he's not looking back. You know how they say walk and don't look back? That's exactly what Jelly Roll is doing. And Bunnie's standing in the back waiting for him to look back at her, and she's getting bitter that he's not looking back at her, kind of thing. So with that being said, I hope I painted that picture out perfectly for you to symbolize where they are in this situation. So that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. It really mean a lot to the channel. Please and thank you. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Leave your comments down below. And hey, tell me, do you like this kind of reading where instead of doing 2 separate video readings, I do a reading where I do a miniature reading on each person in the couple just to see how they're doing? Tell me, do you like that style, or do you like it where I do one overall energetic reading where both of their energies are merged together and we see the relationship reading and flow rather than the individual level? So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that made sense. And give this video a thumbs up, leave your comments down below, subscribe, and become a beautiful sunflower and spread those beautiful sunflower seeds. And I'll see you guys in the next one. And you know what I say before I go? Hype, hype, hype us up. Subscribe to us, and don't forget to thumb us up. Hey, sunflowers.